الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. وقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the honor of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He didn't say Rahmatul lil Muslimin or Mu'mineen. He says Rahmatul lil Alamin. What does that mean? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a Rabb of all alam, not only the human beings, all the creatures, everything, the whole universe. He is the Rabb of whole the universe, and he honored Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be the Rahmah for the whole universe. Subhanallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam's good character. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلِقٍ عَظِيمٍ. We have created you with the best manners. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm just going to mention one of the portions from the seerah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Zayd bin Harisa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu's story. He was a young boy and his father's name was Harisa. And he was living with the parents and the family. One time the mother wanted to travel from their house to a different place to visit, and she took the permission of the husband and he gave permission, and then she traveled with the group, because in the olden days they used to travel in group, not single. So they traveled in the group. When it was very hot days, they have to take rest under the shelter. But the children, they come out and play. So when Zayd bin Harisa was playing with other boys, the people, robbers, and who are going around looking for things, they used to see the children around and they used to pick them up and sell them for money. So they saw Zayd bin Harisa and as his friend walking around and playing. They caught him, they grabbed him, and they took him to Mecca. And they sold Zayd bin Harisa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, young boy with some money, and Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anhu's cousin brother, Hakim bin Hizam, who bought Zayd bin Harisa with the money. And then he gave it as a present to Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. This was before the Izhar-e-Nabuwat, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not given the wahi. So when Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala married to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she gave Zayd bin Harisa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu as a gift of the marriage to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept him and looked after him. The family of Zayd bin Harisa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when they realized Zayd bin Harisa has been taken away and they are missing, she came back to the house, and the husband was very, very annoyed, and he used to love Zayd bin Harisa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He said, we have to find where he is, and he told all the family members and the community that I'm happy to pay any money, please go and find where Zayd is and I'll find him. They looked around, they couldn't find it. But after a long time, some of his companions went to Mecca. There used to be a yearly market in Mecca. They used to go and buy things. And then when they were there, they saw Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Zayd bin Harisa. Suddenly they realized and they found out who this person is. They said, his name is Muhammad bin Abdullah, and he's a very kind and generous person, and so on and so forth. They realized and they went back and informed the father of Zayd bin Harisa, that we have found your son and he is in Mecca, but he is a slave of a very nice person who has got very important position in Mecca. Then Harisa, what he did, he asked all the community, saying that I'm taking my money, I would like to have help, give me whatever you want, I want a loan so that I have to buy Zayd. And I don't know how much price they are going to ask, then I have to pay the price to buy him. So all the community gathered money and gave it to him. So Harisa went to Mecca and he asked, where is this person Muhammad bin Abdullah lives? The people said that he lives in this place. He went there and then he introduced himself to Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that I am the father of Zayd, my name is Harisa. He said, oh, it's nice to meet you. Why have you come? He said, I want to buy my son because he was sold as a slave to you. Rasulullah said that, okay, can we make a deal? He said, what deal? I have got the money to. He said, no, don't worry. Can we make a deal? If Zayd wants to go by himself with his own will, you can take him, I don't want any money. But if Zayd wants to stay with me, we are not going to force him. He said, please don't joke with me. Who is going to stay as a slave to you rather than coming to his parent and his family? He said, no, you ask me whatever you want, I'm going to. Rasulullah said, no, make a deal. If he wants to go with his own free will, you can take him, no money. But if he wants to stay with me, you are not going to force. He said, are you sure? Rasulullah said, yes. He said, okay. Then Rasulullah called Zayd. Zayd came along and saw his father and his uncle, embraced them, sat down, talk about the family and so on and so forth. Tears were there in the eyes, looking after Sultan. And then he said, okay. Then he said, my son, this is a very kind man. And he has given me an option. But I'm just mentioning it too, because I offered him money, but he said he doesn't want any money. He said that if Zayd wants to go with you, take him without money. But if Zayd wants to stay with me, don't force him. So you want to come with your father and uncle and going to father. Come on, you say. Zayd just kept quiet for him. What's the matter? He said, calmness, with eyes down. He said, what is happening? He said, my father, I love you so much. My uncle, I love you so much. My mother and my family, I love so much. But the company of this person I have spent so many years has changed me completely. If you permit me, I would rather like to stay with this person all my life. The father says, are you sure? He said, yes, I have spent all my time with him. I have found him like no other human being. I love him. I would like to stay with him if you permit. Then the father hugged him and then he said, I want happiness of my child. And if he is happy here in this atmosphere, I am pleased to leave him. And then he said, Assalamu alaikum to Rasulullah and went there. After that, Rasulullah went outside. This is the time before the revelation of the Wahi. He went outside and he said, Zayd is not Zayd bin Harisa. From today, he's going to be called Zayd bin Muhammad. He's my adopted son. Kept it, and when the revelation came, the 4 persons who accepted as Rasulullah immediately, from the women Khadija radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, from the men Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, from children Ali Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu, and from the slaves Zayd bin Harisa. These are the 4 people who accepted Islam straight away as soon as the wahi came. But afterwards in Surah Al-Ahzab it came that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that nobody is going to be the father of adopted son. Then he went outside and he said, Zayd is not Zayd bin Muhammad now, it's Zayd bin Harisa back. It affected Zayd bin Harisa Radhiyallahu Anhu, that he was honored so much by calling Zayd bin Muhammad. But this is what I'm saying, that وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You can see the character for Rasulullah, that Zayd bin Harisa, who could have gone with his family without paying any money, but he decided to stay with Rasulullah because of his character, his love and mercy that has affected him. So I finish with this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and have love of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam so much that we send us durood and salam on Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam every day, especially on Friday, minimum 100 times. That is how we show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He has made us the ummati of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصرنا أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأجل وأتم وأكبر والله يعلم. أقيموا الصلاة.